Hello friends and welcome to another episode of Change. In these changing times, we look at change with a different perspective. We have been looking and discussing about this very word, change itself. As much as we love change, there are certain changes that we find uncomfortable to deal with. And often these are the changes that cause misery to us. In today's episode, let us talk about the changing trends of the world. A lot of things that are changing around us, and that too very quickly. Today, we have our spiritual resource with us in the studio, Sister Usha. Didi, welcome to the show.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
When we look at the times, everybody says the times are changing, the world is changing. And as appropriately as they say it, it has always been undergoing change. It is not a new thing. But over the past 10 years, maybe 20 years, let's say, things have changed at a rapid pace.
Very drastic changes.
Yeah. And often many people were not even aware of these changes that were not seen in the past 50 or 60 years happened quite quickly. Hence, our inability to deal with them. Sometimes our challenges to face those changes. Sometimes they hit us hard in our face and we cannot do but just take the punch.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the changing trends that have happened over the years? How have you seen it?
Well, I believe that although during the school times when we talk about gender equality, but still, and parents also talk about this when they send their children in a co-education school. Till the school, it's okay. But as soon as they get into a college or into a university, and where they are putting a lot of effort to compete with this world and to gain that marks and to score those marks, at that time, naturally, they have to work a lot. So sometimes they come home a little bit late. That's when the old way of thinking of the parents start. So in the school, when they sent to a co-education school, they said gender equality. But now, when the boy comes late home, it's okay, no problem. But if the girl comes late home, definitely there are negative thoughts that are generated. And in this process, constantly having those negative thoughts about the girl, it is like the power of attraction. When we are sending constantly negative energy, we are constantly invoking that situation again and again in our thoughts, visualizing it. This would happen, if that would happen. So definitely, somewhere or the other, according to our power of thoughts, we are attracting those situations for that girl. And then, when something happens, they say, see?
I told you.
You shouldn't be late at home. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. So, I would feel that either we do not mention about the gender equality in the initial stage, and if we do mention, it is not just for that level, but the parents also would have to understand that it is for throughout of life for the child. And so instead of generating those negative thoughts, creating that negative energy, attracting those situations with the power of thoughts, it is better to attract positive situations, positive vibrations. The more I give positive vibrations, definitely everything would go smooth. Nothing would happen.
Even though when you mention it, but we also understand that we no longer live in safe times. These are dangerous times at the behest of the cases that have happened in the media, popularly the Nirbhaya case that was very notorious, and it drew the attention of the entire nation to it. And that too in the national capital. There were several cases like this that have happened that have questioned the safety of girls and women, especially in the later part of the day, especially in the nights. So as much as we think that we are moving ahead at a greater speed and we are becoming a modern society and we are creating equal opportunities for men and women, we also are dealing with these challenges of safety for women and not really equal opportunities.
So I believe that it is like for the women, if they are more self-disciplined in their life and anticipating what times we are going through, so that nothing should happen to them. So it is up to them that they be home by time, so that no negative thoughts will be generated by their parents or by the society or by anyone
in the family.
And at the same time, they can do the same thing which they are doing there, wherever they are. They can tell there also, look, I think I need to leave. This is my discipline. I will work up till here at this time only. And then definitely that will keep them safe always. So everything matters upon the self-discipline of the person. If the person is not self-disciplined, then definitely the parents would also think negative. The society would also think negative. And then we cannot save the child. We cannot help those women also. Because they have, in the name of being liberal, they have taken the liberty to such an extent which has crossed the discipline limits. So I feel that every woman or every girl child also realizing the dangerous times that we are going through, it is better to stay self-disciplined. People may force you for some things. You have to do this. If you want to work here, they may try to create a pressure. I feel if the person is self-disciplined and would just say, okay, I don't want this job. If the pressure is like that, then nobody can do anything. So everything depends upon one's own internal disciplines that we have, or code of conducts that we have created for ourselves.
When you say about this individuality of a person, how a person must take note of that and they must stick to that, I would want to move on to another aspect of this. Many years ago, there were very few professional choices that people had in terms of education. Many people would rather become an engineer or a doctor, or you would go into teaching, or there were very little choices in terms of what you wanted to become professionally. So the education also was very streamlined, I would say. But now, in the past 15 years or so, so many streams have popped up.
Yes.
In my own case, when I wanted to do something related to management, everybody raised eyebrows and said, what, you are not going to create a career for yourself? That was the question that I had to deal with. And I'm pretty sure that there are other people also. There are girls who would want to study further up. Some girls would want to take up engineering or do something else which is quite unheard of. Many people would say, oh, you are a girl, you are supposed to get married. Why are you spending so much on the girl's education? Why do you have to put lakhs of money into her education? Is something that many members of the society would advise parents. And suddenly there is a pressure, in spite of they having a view of educating the girl child to higher education, certainly feel bound down by. And the second thing is about boys making different open choices like interior designing or a chef or a pilot, and people would say you are wasting your time. That is what is often pressed upon to young aspirants like this, and their dreams, their aspirations are often put off, or at least put off. In some cases, there is a huge watershed that takes them away. So with these changes happening, other people reacting it, your thing about individuality, about listening to your own inner voice, your heart, somehow comes into a compromised position.
What I would say that I think in a profession, wherever our child wants to go, let him have the satisfaction of job.
Mm.
Because if they are not satisfied, then constantly throughout the life, they would always like, I shouldn't have listened to them. I shouldn't have come under the pressure. They would be regretting in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They would not be enjoying the work they were forced to get into. So I believe that although the trends are changing, but the parents should also have this open mind to see what their child wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is bad.
Mm.
Like if a boy wants to become a chef, I think that's nothing bad. But he can gain name and fame on the basis of being that. And people would welcome him in the society as well. Initially, they may say, oh, what is a chef?
Mm.
But that doesn't matter. If it is giving happiness to him, if it is giving inner satisfaction to him, if he is doing that work with pleasure, he may earn so much.
Not just money, but other things as well.
Other things as well. So I feel nowadays the world is being so creative. So let them get into those choices. Why should we force people to get? Yes, there was a time like when we were, but I think today the parents also have to be liberal in this, giving them their own choices. Let them do whatever they want, but at least teach them the disciplines as well.
Mm-hmm.
You may take up whatever choice of work you want to do. See that you are comfortable with it. See that you are happy with it. It gives you pleasure. It gives you satisfaction. But at the same time, you have to be disciplined.
Mm.
So this is what the trend is. And I feel that the parents also should allow their children to get into what that gives them pleasure. We can guide them. We can give them inspiration. We can give them choices so that if they have a narrow vision, just focus to one choice, we can give them a broader vision, give them more other aspects, let them choose whichever they want to.
Every person has one or two dreams, as much I would say. A person might also be special in a different way. For example, if I have an inclination for music and if you have an inclination for sport, and if our parents came from a time zone where earning livelihood was the main aim of an education first and then life, to have a sound career, something that could give you enough money to feed yourself. So these have taken back seats, and often I have heard from people who say that, oh, there was a time when I was good at these things, but nobody really cared or bothered about it. So they could not pursue sport or music or passion or fashion designing or whatnot, but they could not.
I would say that every soul has its own specialities. Everybody is blessed with those specialities. When we come onto this earth, it is like a gift of God for us to be in this world. And each soul is blessed with some or the other specialities, some or the other divine qualities, I would say. And if the person realizes that, and if the parents would also support seeing that, it does not mean that only education and getting into a good job, then only we can earn a livelihood. But in today's age, we can see sports, those who are good, they were not good at education, but they were very good at sports. And today those sports people are also earning a lot. They are earning name, fame and money, everything. So it is not that they cannot earn a livelihood. They can. Music. If somebody has a very good talent of playing something, some instrument, on the basis of that instrument, they earn so much. And they also earn name and fame in that world. So maybe the parents, they have limited knowledge, limited understanding about that particular field, how that field can also bring up the child and glorify the name of the parents as well in the world. So if the parents would realize these things, if they would not get into those old thinking, old way of being, if they realize that child is blessed with some qualities, let us give support and let him go ahead in this field. Maybe the parents also need to do a little bit of Googling, or maybe they need to know how this field, the expansion of that field in the world is. If they do that study, they do that Googling, maybe they will be able to give the right type of support the child needs and make him flourish in that world. Get the child to that level where he is able to glorify the names of the parents also. So I feel the parents, they should not just have a narrow thinking. Maybe that before music was like, or sports was like, it will not earn you a livelihood. Because they have not done the expansion, or they have not done the research in that particular field, how that field is so wide in today's age and where the person can reach. So the parents need to do a research on that subject and understand what that subject is. Then only they will be able to give good guidance to that child. Okay, you go ahead with it. We are there with you. The society will definitely try to, what are you doing? As a parents, you don't even guide your child in a better manner. Well, I think that at that time the parents need to say, we have done a good research and this is a good field. Let him go ahead. Let him develop his specialities in such a way, let it blossom. And the parents would also feel happy about it.
True. Now, I would also tilt a little bit to the other side of the story. As much as you said, the parents must nurture and they must identify the specialities that a child has. Often we see in bigger cities, especially in metros, where children are super busy. I would say from my own personal experience that sometimes children are put to a karate class, they're put to a skating class, they're also put to something called for mathematics, something for extra co-curricular. He also has a guitar lesson. He also has to go for swimming. And if it is a girl, then she has to do Bharatnatyam. She also has to learn cookery. She also has to do her sport. So, and there are also additional tuitions for finishing the academic part of it. So a child's life has become so, how would I say, busy, and it is on the clock. Tuck, 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 2 o'clock, you have to go to this class, 4 o'clock, go here. So children, when they come back home, they are often dead tired.
Completely exhausted.
And parents feel that they're doing a great job about it. They think that they're the best parents in the world. And of course, they are providing more for the demands of the kids. But at the same time, there is a huge amount of disconnect where you feel that there is no me time with the kids. There is no personal nurturing. And at times, many people have faced this. And sometimes kids have told this, saying that, oh, this is too tiring for me. And yet parents say, no, you have to do this. This is for your good. So they want to push the child towards all-round development.
Well, I would say that the parents would also need to understand their child, how much capacity he has, because nowadays they do not get those type of food which had all the vitamins and everything, minerals that a child needed. So somewhere he is getting tired, so we need to understand it is becoming overburdened on him. At that time we need to give a choice to the child. These are the options. Which would interest you? Let him choose. for his own life. And definitely that speciality which is in the child would definitely go for it. He would opt for that choice. I would like to do this. Understand. Let him go. Let him have the practice. Then see how much capability he has. Or after maybe 6 months, you ask him, are you comfortable with this? Or do you feel you need to do something else? Then we can give him another choice. Maybe for swimming or skating and all the things together instead. Okay, first you do this. Secondly, you do this. Thirdly, you can do this. So that he is not overburdened, not over busy, and not burnt out of energy in that young age. Because then he is not going to do good academics also. That will suffer. So, we need to give him choices. One by one, gradually he'll do. Definitely.
Thank you very much, Didi. That was very insightful. And I recollect the point about understanding that each soul is special. There is something special in each one of us. And if we understand
God has blessed each and every one with something or the other.
So if we recognize that speciality, probably we'll do much better than just our jobs.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Didi, for coming to the
Shanti.
studio.
Thank you.
Friends, that was this episode of Change. Do you know what you are special about? Have you ever thought about what makes you special? I guess if we re-look upon ourselves, we will find it. And there is a greater task, if you are a parent, to look at our own children, what specialities they have. Can we nurture them? Can we allow that speciality to grow? That's all on this episode of Change. We'll see you again. Till then, take care.